Hi, it's Dave here from Elysium Sophia. And how are you today? We are Elysium. Elysium Sophia. Elysium, if you're new to us, meaning wholeness and completeness and well-being. And Sophia, named after my wonderful and very, very precious daughter, Sophia. How are you today? Elysium Sophia, we welcome you to our home. If you're here for the first time, as I say, we say hi. But if you're one of our usual followers, our usual subscribers, the people who watch us every day, then how are you today? You're welcome to our home today. And we're looking at all sorts of things today because, as you know, we have so many people that come to visit us in our home here at Elysium Sophia. If you're watching us from the Philippines, we say hi to you. How are you today? You might be from the Philippines, working, one of our wonderful, wonderful subscribers working out in the United Emirates. You might be working in Japan or Thailand, where our spiritual journey started in Muay Thai, Thai boxing, kickboxing. You might be watching us from Iran or Iraq. You might be watching us from the Middle East, from Qatar, from Dubai, from Bahrain, and from anywhere across the Asian continent. We say hi to you. You might be watching us from China or Japan. You might be from the Soviet Union. You might be from across the pond in America, from the USA. We say hi because we're joined a lot of the time by our friends from California, from Canada, from Florida, from Ohio, from Hawaii, from all sorts of places from across the pond. And as usual, we say hi to our friends from across the pond in America. You might be Joe Biden fans. You might be Donald Trump fans. We always open our house up to you to chat about whatever, because as you know, we are all about hypnosis. We're all about rejuvenation therapy, mind and body training, and helping you to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. We use hypnosis. We use transcendental meditation. We use all sorts of ways to help you to unwind, to relax, to help you motivate, and to help you to be the best version of you, as we say, that you can possibly be, by using work from Émile de Quid de Champagnat, which strengths from I am, and basically all it means is every day and every way I'm getting better and better. And we encourage you to think that way. And obviously, over the past, 5 months or so, we've also evolved to a chat show. We have 2 successful chat shows now, one on here on YouTube, and we also have another platform, social media platform, where we host another show on there, and we're really enjoying that one too. We are really, really quite popular on both these channels, but especially the other one now. It's taken off across Europe, it's taken off across Asia and America, and we have so many friends across the pond and from Asia and Russia, India, Pakistan. Quite a lot of countries that come to visit us on both channels, especially on the other one that's, excuse me, we have some kind of farmer there and a tractor just coming past. I don't know what he's doing, get out. So if you are watching from either one of our channels, because what happens is our friends from the other platform come here, and vice versa. When we're on the other platform doing our chat show there, we have people from here joining there. So here, there and everywhere. Wherever you're from Europe maybe, very cliche, I usually say, the final countdown, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-ba-ba. You might be joining us from our friends in Scandinavia, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, because the Swedes and the Scandinavians have it all boxed off what we do. They're open-minded, they're open to sensuality, they're open to lifestyle, they're just open about everything. You've got it right over there in Scandinavia, you really have, and you've won our hearts. So to the people of Hong Kong, China, the Middle East, and where our spiritual journey and where my personal journey into Muay Thai, kickboxing started off in Thailand. That's what it all started for us, and that's we want to share things. That's what I do now as well. I also train my daughter in full contact Muay Thai and kickboxing, who is also doing very, very well. She's my prodigy. So I trained to a great standard in Muay Thai a long, long time ago, and then kickboxing, trained and competed, and now train my own daughter, who's doing very well on the world scene. She's doing well in the European scene, the British and UK scene, but obviously we came back from the World Championships with a nice little haul the last time. We can't wait to get back into full training and competitions again. And Sophia will be welcoming you from behind the camera, also known as Penny the Panda, to our home. So, Sophia, how are you today?
Hello everybody, Penny the Panda here from Elysium Sophia. So first person we have is King and Queen Team RG, who says shout out, and they also said done.
Done, Tom said done,
I have
great.
given you a jacket.
Lovely, a little blue jacket there from Sophia.
Please feel free thank you for joining us and thank you for the time.
I don't quite know why I just said, how are you today, Sophia? Because clearly I know exactly how you are from early hours of this morning till...
So,
I don't know why I said that. Why did I say, how are you today?
So, King and Queen said, thanks for giving me a jacket.
You're welcome. I hope it fits.
We always
Little
give
blue
blue
jacket.
jackets.
Yeah, well, anybody that comes that gets a blue jacket.
Feel free
And
to
please, feel free to drop your link, put your little blue jacket on, take a photograph, show us how you look. I don't know. And you're welcome to grow your channel with us. Whereabouts are they from? Are they from the Philippines or
I'm not sure.
whereabouts are you from? But you're welcome, wherever you are. Mikasa is Sukasa. You're welcome to the home of Elysium Sophia, the home of rejuvenation therapy, of mindfulness meditation, of relaxation, of mindfulness meditation, of transcendental meditation, and of hypnosis, where we work with you on personal training. We do sessions in Thai boxing, kickboxing, and we help you to be the best version of you. And also we do this chat show, which we're doing today, and we welcome you to come in and chat about wherever you want to chat.
King and Queen said virtual hug, virtual hug.
Oh, a virtual hug, that's great. We'll give it that one, shall we?
And they
That's
also
great.
dropped their links.
Lovely, that's brilliant, that's lovely, thank you. So, you're joining us today maybe. We say bonjour if you're joining us from France, or guten morgens, guten abends if you're from Germany, from the rest of Europe, and of course we also have our friends that know Sophia personally. You might be Jack, you might be Jack's mum, you might be Harry, who's changed his name to Cheeseboard, Cheesecake, I don't know. That cookery woman's got on your nerves as well, I suppose, there. I'm not making another thing for her today. Well, not today anyway, bless her. You might be Kalal, you might be Millie, you might be Ava, you might be Ethan, and of course, any of you might be banging your drum like Dom Diddy Day, as we say here at Elysium Sophia. So if you know Sophia personally, come and say hi today. Come and say hello, because school's coming back for summer, 8th of March, isn't it? Sophia.
So Jayla just messaged me on the other side and said she'll see if she can come, but if she can, she will be here.
Jayla?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be really, really nice. Jayla. Yeah, it's great, Jayla. Yeah, hopefully she can come and say. You see what I mean? People from the other side. Now, obviously, we're very gothic here at Elysium Sophia. When I say the other side, we're not jumping into the coffin and coming out, like a corpse or anything like that. Well, not today, anyway. Well, we might do later on, but not at the moment. When we say the other side, we mean the other platform. So, from that platform to this, we say, what are you talking about? A Pizza Hut? A pizza going to kill somebody? What are you saying? No, dear. Farmer, is it? Annoying you? Yeah, but they do annoy us, these farmers, don't they? They get on your nerves, don't they? Get on your nerves.
Hello, so we've got Jamie Gibson.
Jamie, hi, Jamie.
Hi.
Jamie. Have you got a magic torch, Jamie?
Hello, thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to give the side stream a thumbs up, and I've given you a jacket.
Ah, brilliant. Hi, Jamie. Are you new to us, Jamie? How are you today? Are you from the... now, you don't sound to have a Filipino name. Are you from the UK? Are you from the USA? Whereabouts are you from? I always like to... I'm very good at hypnosis now, but I can't actually make a connection at the moment through a camera. So, Jamie, where are you from, Jamie? Are you from the Philippines?
Oh, right. That's Jayla.
Jayla.
But she's using her mum's account.
Oh, I see. So we know who you are, and we know exactly where you're from.
Yeah.
So great that you've joined us. You did say you were going to join us, didn't you? That's great. It's like say hello from the other side.
So she said, I'm Jayla from Likey.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. That's great. Lovely, 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 lovely jubbly. So today we thought we'd, after we've welcomed everybody to our home today, we thought we'd carry on inviting you in to chat about whatever you'd like to chat about. But we were talking yesterday about how things were. We spent a lot of time recently talking about COVID, talking about the American elections, talking with our friends who are Donald Trump fans, that are Joe Biden fans, like the great Gaga there. But Sophia.
I'm really sorry, I've just deleted your comment, Jayla.
Oh dear.
Because I tried to add you a moderator, but then I accidentally pressed remove. So I haven't meant to delete your comment.
Oh dear.
But yeah.
That's cool. That's brilliant. No problem at all. That's great. So, what I was just saying was that yesterday we had a... Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. And they did, didn't they? We digress. We talked yesterday about different things away from COVID, because COVID's now... COVID's still around. COVID's awful. We've got one hour. I blink and the numbers go up and up and up. And vaccinations. Yesterday I was looking at 18 million now that are vaccinated in this country, which is amazing, which is brilliant. So we've spoken a lot recently about the American elections, about how much we miss Donald Trump. Because we miss Donny, because there's never a dull moment with Donny. I don't care I'm not going to the party. I don't want to go. There's no jelly. There's no custard, and I don't want to go. I want to go dancing with the soldiers. You know, he was on the other day dancing with the soldiers. We saw that. It was great. Donald Trump, we are going to miss you, right? And I'm sure that Joe, like I said, the great Gaga loves you, so you must be doing something right, Joe. But where are you, Joe? Come out, Joe. We've got trifle. You know, I don't know, Joe. Joe Biden. Don't know much about Joe, but apparently he's already made his first step onto Syria. Yesterday I was hearing. So Joe, well, good on you. Because the Syrian people are amongst a lot of people that do really need your help. They need the world's help, because I do believe that had we have helped the Syrian people in the first place, then we wouldn't be looking at the disaster that then took place. It's just my own opinion, but I do feel that the brothers and sisters that were in Syria, right at the very beginning of the disasters that were happening out in Syria, they were neglected, they were overlooked by the West. And I do think that maybe we could have done more to help our brothers and sisters and our friends in Syria that were being murdered left, right and centre. And of course the rest history, isn't it? But I won't get too political on that one. But I do think wherever it is, I think wherever humanity is needed, where empathy is needed, I think we should be there. The same way as we weren't there in many other countries. Zimbabwe, for example, under the regime there, when people were getting killed in there. Sometimes we're very, very quick, the United Kingdom and America especially, we're very guilty of going to places where there may be ulterior motives for us. And okay, of course, we love our nice things. We love our designer labels. We love our nice cars. We love our Armani. We love our, we don't talking about Armani. We're talking about the things that are labels. And we love our bling. We do love nice things. But at the end of the day, we also love humanity. And, what's fair's fair. And we don't like bullies here at Elysium Sophia. And if you watch us on a regular basis, you'll know that our journey is all about standing up to bullies. It's standing up to people in the past, maybe. Okay, we have to let the past go. That's what we talk about here at Elysium. We talk about moving on and living in the here and now. And not worrying about yesterday, not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow in another hour's time. We think about the here and now. But there are certain times where you have to make a stance. And bullies, we have so many people come to us at Elysium, whether it's through therapy or on our platforms, and they say, I'm being bullied. And we always say, and it is true, it's not cliche, it is true. I love you, another cliche, babe. We don't say that to people. That'd be wrong, wouldn't it?
No.
I don't know, I'd do sometimes, I suppose. But we say it's a cliche. It is a cliche in one way, that we say bullies basically are bullies because they're insecure. They look in the mirror and they go, ugh, I'm insecure. I'm going to bully somebody. And that's what they do. That's what they do, but they're not exactly like that. That'd be wrong. Well, most of them do, yeah. But they do look at themselves in the mirror and think, who am I going to victimise today? I'm going to find someone that's weaker than me, or I think's weaker than me, that's smaller than me in height or stature or appearance. We're going to pick out something, and we're going to just make ourselves feel better. No, you're not. Because you're just idiots. Bullies are people who are insecure people. And that is true. And you have to keep repeating yourself that message. If you're being bullied out there at the moment, you have to make sure that we don't give bullies credence. And I'm giving you credence now, just for a very short time, bullies, because you do. You go out there, you bully people, and and they do actually say that bullying is a cry for help. Maybe it is. In some ways it is. But provided you seek the help afterwards, then great, you've done your job. But just bullies per se, leave people alone. People should be able to live their lives whichever way they want to live it. Gay, straight, black, white, green, yellow, Martian, heterosexual, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, whatever you are. You should be allowed to live your life, the rainbows of the world. Live your life how you want to live it. We're all unique, we're all different, and this is what we say at Elysium Sophia. We are all unique, we're all different, we all have special qualities, and we're all loved by someone. Someone loves us and we love them, and we have to be strong. And the way we are strong, according to what we do, is to work with your subconscious mind and to help you to unwind, to relax, to use transcendental meditation, to use any form of reflection, mindfulness meditation, to help you to unwind, to relax, to take time, watch our videos and look through from head to toe, to try and relax all your body, to concentrate on deep breathing because we store so much energy in our certain areas of our body that we talk about all the time here at Elysium Sophia. We talk about storing energy, storing tension on the tops of our heads here, our neck muscles all the way down there, the centre of our spine and the solar plexus, the diaphragm, this area. And we give you techniques to try and look at balloon breathing. It's called balloon breathing simply because that's what it is. It's imagining that you have a balloon in there and you're inflating and deflating. And in that way, you're just taking 10 minutes out of your day to relax and to send messages to the areas of your body that are in need of reparation, whether that's mind and body. And we stop at different areas all the way down from our heads through to our toes, and we release that tension. We work with people on a one-to-one basis. We work with you to help you to unwind. Meditation, reflection. Now, somebody said to us the other day, surely all meditation is transcendental, isn't it? Yeah, all meditation transcends. Of course it does, but not all meditation is transcendental. Transcendental involves a lot of words, a lot of utterances, a lot of sounds, but it's all transforming, it's all transcending, but not always referred to as transcendental. It can get quite deep, but basically all you need to do is to look at ways of reflecting, look at ways of rejuvenation, and look at ways of just taking time for yourself. Taking time for yourself to unwind. Because you are unique, you are an amazing person, and there's only one of you. So follow our videos that we posted a long time ago. Because we do like to carry on with the message, although now we're a chat show. We do like to reflect, and we do like to reflect on ourselves. And as you know, if you're watching us, if you've been watching us for a long time, you'll know that we always start off in a certain way, and then we move on to our chat show. But then we always bring it back at the end to what's really important. It's about you. It's about relaxation, about meditation, and life transformation. And we bring it back to there. But we do like to have a bit of fun on the way. And a lot of the ways that we do have a bit of fun is to help you live in the here and now by talking about things how they used to be. Because yesterday, I digress from earlier, we talked about how things were. We talked about different shops, we talked about different subcultures, and we touched on a lot of things because we live where we live is sort of like in between, sort of like the Barnsley area, Manchester area, the Sheffield area, and we talk about shops that are that were around and subcultures around when I was at school. And we touched on a few things, and a lot of people said, Dave, can we carry on talking about that? Because I do remember what you were talking. Do you remember? And we talked about skinheads. We talked about mods and rockers. We talked about different subcultures. We talked about the new romantics. We talked about the hippies. We talked about punk. And we talked about gothics and gothicism. And we talked about the different genres of music and subcultures. And I talked about my own personal journey about once upon a time, being at school and then moving on and reflecting on what happened in my personal journey through to Thailand and Thai boxing and being a really decent Thai boxer and kickboxer and not giving a Billy's monkey's ant about anybody because I ain't worried about anybody physically anymore. Born of a woman, I don't care. But that gives you the inner strength as to one of the reasons we're here today, talking about you and talking about the ways that you can be strong, mental and physical, both together, body and mind working together, the yin and the yang. And we talked about Sanskrit, we talked about my journey from educational wise, we talked about what I do now, talk about my personal work that I do as a personal trainer, as in hypnosis, in therapy, also my teaching work, and also a bit of police work, and talked about martial arts. And we put them all into the melting pot. As to one of the reasons as to where we are today, and we were joined by lots of our friends from America, from the Philippines, and they were also adding little bits on yesterday, and that was great. So, but people did say, can we carry on with the reflections of just what I used to be? And yeah, of course we can. And we were chatting the other day, and we were saying about school, and it was we were talking about myself in PE about the Frosby flops. And if you want to rewind, we go that way, don't we? Rewind. If we're going to go forward, we go that way. But we're talking about things we did in PE and PE teachers, and anybody that knows remembers me. You may remember me. Do you remember? And we're talking about people today. I'll try not to use names, but it's so hard. But what you will do is maybe you'll remember the specific people I'm talking about, which will maybe bring a wry smile to your face. Or it might be somebody your equivalent in your school, okay? Could be something like that. I don't know. Let's just have a look and just see what we can bring up. We started off talking about PE teachers, and we had two peaches. We didn't have peaches at all. Peaches and cream. Peaches and cream. No, we didn't have peaches and cream, not at all. We had two teachers called Peaches and Cream. No, we didn't. That's gone again. Whoa, Dave, you're off on a tangent again. Tangerine Dream. I do digress. Talking about peaches and cream. No, we weren't. We were talking about teachers. Teams of teachers. Teachers' teams. Teams in PE. Let's come back. Whoa there, Leslie. We're talking about two teachers in particular that were PE teachers. So we're going to different subject areas. And two teachers we had that you might remember. One was called Wood, and the other was called Wood. They were both Wood. And we, as pupils, we thought, oh, which Wood are we having today? And one was called H Wood, and one was called S Wood. So we called them Hardwood and Softwood, because it was Harry Wood and something else Wood, and I can't remember. H Wood, H, Hardwood and Softwood. So we had these two guys, and they were totally different characters. There's H Wood and S Wood, and if you got H Wood, you were like, oh, we've got Harry today. And S, I can't remember what his name was, S Wood, Softwood and Hardwood. Yeah, that's how we remembered it. Yeah, I don't know what his name was. But it was S. I don't know what it was. S and H. Anyway, I will keep stopping because Sophia keeps putting her hand up and saying, making your mind up and welcoming people. So we're on H-Wood and Softwood, yeah? Okay. Like an HB pencil, okay? We'll stop there a second and come back. So, Sophia, waving at me.
We've got Eskimo.
Oh, Eskimo? Rubbing noses?
Yeah.
How are you?
Impressive introduction and a very good quality video. And it's great and I love it very much. And have a lovely day, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Eskimo. We're going to rub noses. That's great. I love it how Eskimos rub noses.
Official vlog who says done.
Oh, official vlog. Oh, hello.
And we've
how are you?
also got Sweet and Savoury UK
Ooh.
who says done to you.
Oh, thank you. You're all welcome today. And do forgive me if I digress. And obviously, Sophia will keep coming in and waving at me and saying, we have someone else here. And we don't want to ignore you. We're just on a roll with our blasts from the past. So, Sophia.
We've also got Vegan Realist who says, hi, Debbie.
Hi, Vegan Realist. How are you today?
Thank you for sharing our live stream. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to give us a live stream.
How are you today?
And how are you today?
Okie dokie, let's just rig us. So we're about hardwood and softwood. And then I said before, we had a guy, another PE teacher, that was, my darling, okay, you're looking at me a bit like, yeah, hardwood and softwood, that's what it was. We had another PE teacher that looked like the guy from Grange Hill, Baxter. Little beard, not like me, didn't walk around going Allah Wahba. He was a little bearded fellow called, I can't remember his name now. We'll just come back. You just
Vegan Realist said, I'm okay, thanks, how are you?
Oh, we're fine, thank you, Vegan Realist, we're fine. We had this, I think they called him Baker. Mr. Baker, I think they called him. Butcher Baker, candlestick maker, I don't know. It's a very small guy, very small, a teeny-weeny man he was. And I remember him right at the very beginning, this guy. He was a very small PE teacher. And he was called Mr. Baker because we had two Mr. Bakers. We had a nice Mr. Baker, then we had this guy who wasn't quite as nice. He was all right, but he was, because he was a little guy, he was like, and kind of like, prove himself. A bit of the Napoleon complex. A very small guy that, jumped up, anyway. But he was, then we had another guy called, who was a rugby player, and he was a bit of a bully. You'll remember him as well. You'll all remember this guy, because Binsey, God bless his soul, you'll remember the name Binsey. I think he had a bit of a run-in with this guy, and didn't like him at all. And you'll know there were two Binseys as well. So there were two Binseys. One of them's, I don't think the other one's dead. I think the other one's still alive, but one of them sadly passed away. And again, he was such a local character. Everybody knew him. everybody knew him, and in a way, thought a lot about him. So, that's a sad thing. But anyway, getting back to this other, quite a bit of a bully, but a rugby player, and people remember him. Don't know whether he meant it or not. I don't know, just the way he came across at the time. But we all know who we're talking about. And obviously this other guy, used to do the London Marathon. This smaller guy, and he was a funny little chap. Now we moved on from there to the girls. They had their PE teachers as well, and a few of them were. You remember fondly or not fondly your PE teachers as well, because you had a few moments with them. I remember the conversations going, oh, we've got today, which was quite interesting. So yeah, just a little light bulb coming on about your female PE teachers at the time. Yeah. So and then we had another one, and again, as we digress a little bit more. Now you either loved him or hated him, but I actually liked him. He had a brother that played for Sheffield United, and he had a father that played for Sheffield United, and I personally liked him. And unfortunately, this guy died last year, but he was a good friend. He was a nice guy, and ended up one of the assistant heads at the school. I had a lot of time for that guy, and God rest his soul as well. He was one of the nice ones, and I know a lot of people, maybe because you're Wednesday fans, I don't know, didn't get on with him, but I got on with him. I thought he was a nice guy. A lot of time for that guy. So yeah, that was a PE department. Now we also had a maths department, and the maths department, I'll try and go through each department in turn that I can remember, see if it reminds you of anything. Maybe it was spring to bells. Cleggy. Oh, Cleggy. Not your Cleggy, darling. There's another Clegster. You had a Cleggy in your school, don't you, my darling? This was a different Cleggy. Cleggy Weggy. Oh, Cleggy. He could be. And then another guy. And I don't want to. I'm trying not to use names, but I am doing, aren't I? This guy was from Burnley. Had a beard, not like me, not Allah Akbar. He was another beardy guy. Looked like Timothy Claypole.
Yeah.
From Rentagos. If your mansion house needs haunting, then call Clebo! Yeah, he was a bad lad, him. Yeah, the one you're talking about.
Yeah, he's from...
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, he might be then. It could be the same, and he's yeah, but this guy was from Burnley, and he used to come in, and he had a very Burnley accent. Very Burnley. All like that, round and round, up and down, up and down. Very Burnley. And he was at Burnley, because we used to ask teachers, did he? It might be him, it might be his son. Does he look like Timothy Claypole? Does he look like a beard? Has he got like, does he come around with a jester's hat on? Ooh, big fat guy, is he? Oh dear, no, he wasn't like that. He was quite skinny Jim, he was. He was anyway, we had this guy, and then we had another one that was another guy that used to go sailing across the sea, away with my Uncle Tom. Now, it wasn't called Tom, but I'm trying not to use his name, because I saw him down in Fox Valley about 2 weeks ago. Now, he walked straight past me, because he didn't recognise me, because I was, I wasn't Allah Akbar then, wasn't with a big beard. But he looked at me, and then the car, and then they walked past. But I was with my daughter. And again, that was somebody else who's still around, which is nice to see. He was another maths teacher. And then we had another one whose son, was also in the school. And he was one of my first early maths teachers. Bit of a hippie-looking guy. But it's been one of those moustaches that they all had at the time, because they all had one, didn't they? I think one had one and they all joined in. Oatsy joins in now, he's got one as well. Another blast from the past. But anyway, a little bit like Captain Pugwash, I don't know. But anyway, I will keep using names, and it will maybe make you smile. I don't know, you might not even know what I'm talking about, but think, we had a guy like that. But anyway, people who know this will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so we had those two maths teachers, and then we had another woman that used to come on. Now, I remember being in a classroom where this really, we thought she was well-spoken, and now I can't remember her name, and she came in one day, and she was downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. She wasn't Gordon Jackson. No, she wasn't Gordon Jackson. She didn't come and say, hello, Ruby, what are you up to? Oh, Mr. Hudson. She didn't do that. Hudson, that's one of your teachers, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, but she didn't come in and say, oh, Mr. Hudson, what are you talking about? She didn't do that. But she came upstairs, and there was a big bang, 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 bang on the floor, because people were moving desks around. And when that happened, can you remember at school? I don't know what happened then. It was me just having a fit. No, there's the desks moving above your head. You knew when the lesson was finishing before the teacher actually said, let's clear away, because the room above you would go like that. The roof would fall in, literally. Anyway, that was good. If that was the way it was. This teacher once came up, and I remember her saying, what's all this hullabaloo? She used that phrase a lot. Now, nobody used that word then, hullabaloo. And that was not Waybaloo. that we know now. Hullabaloo. What's all this hullabaloo going on? And it just made me smile, that woman. You know, she was... no, I quite liked her. Now, we moved on from maths to history. Now, come on, guys. I'm just going to say, get your books out and turn to page 22. I've got a headache today. You, Ginger, get out. Yeah, I've got a headache today. He used to be asleep on the lockers. You know who he was. Remember, Scottish guy? Dream he was. Superb. How he got away with it. Him and his friends used to go for a drink at the Red Grouse on a Friday, because we had him on a Friday afternoon, and he used to come back and we used to find him laid out, literally, on the lockers, and that guy was a star. Now, okay, he did some silly things, but he also knocked him out with another biology teacher. They were good mates, so they used to go and get wazzed at lunchtime. I mean, they would say wazzed, I mean, they used to have a few drinks, and then, you know, turn to page 22, you get out. And he used to use certain names. He used to say, there was quite a few people's names that he used to get mixed up, but he was absolutely hilarious, this guy. Oh, MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-Bo. It was great. Loved that guy. So that was a history teacher. And before him, we had another history teacher called, I don't know whether you remember these guys, but Mr. Carr. Yeah, Mr. Carr. Now, he was a great little guy. I liked him. Mr. Carr. Mr. Carr was a very little funny fellow. I had a lot of time for that guy, but he was a blast from the past. He was very much bullied by the teachers, I think, and by pupils. Didn't stay long in our school. But anyway, now, while we're still on to history, we had another guy that was a deputy head. And I remember he used to look like Oliver's army are on their way, Oliver's army are here. And he used to walk with a bit of a limp and go like that. He did. He was a very funny fellow. And he used to look like a guy called Elvis Costello. I thought it was him when I joined that school. I thought, my word, I'm being taught about history, and a deputy head that is Elvis Costello. I'm sure it is. And I was convinced it was. You know, we used to walk around. People used to walk around behind him. Now, didn't let him know, because he was a bit of an evil guy. Small again, little Napoleon, and very small, and he used to be a deputy head, and people used to walk behind him if they were lucky and go, Oliver's army is on their way. And also he used to go, my girl's mad at me, because that was another guy, my girl's mad at me. Do you know who that was? An art teacher. An art teacher we had who was puddled. He was absolutely bonkers, this art teacher we had. We had a few great art teachers, but this one in particular was elderly. Now, he taught my mum, my dad, and then he taught my grandparents. I think he taught my great-grandparents. So you know who he is, Docker. Doc, I'm not going to use his surname, but he was Docker. They called him Doc. And he used to walk with a bit of a limp. I think he did actually have a limp. You know, that's why he walked with a bit of a limp. You know, he didn't put it on. But it was, you know, people either loved him or loathed him. Now, I remember one day, I remember one day, the reason... She's putting her finger up her thumb at me saying, hey, I'm just on a roll now talking about this guy. The reason I talk about him was I liked art, and I had my own art teacher then, who was the name of a bit of a part of a fish. You'll know who I'm talking about, yeah. And he had an affair with the great Miss Charlesworth. Well, not really, but I think we all thought that they were having an affair because, you know, he came in with a car one day. And I think he'd given her a lift to school on it. It was a little toy car. But anyway, if you understand that one, you'll know what we're talking about there. But anyway, this guy used to come and mess up your artwork. This one we're talking about. So that, yeah, you'd be drawing something in your art lesson, you'd be enjoying. Now, I remember one particular day, we were doing a scene from a Manchester when he painted matched up men, matched up cats and alley-alley-ohs. We were doing that one. We weren't singing it, we were drawing an old street, cobbled street. A bit like Coronation Street. New sign, Coronation Street. And oh, it's horrible being in love with your 8.5. Got your picture on my wall, got your name up on my scarf. Oh, I put my mum's heels on yesterday. So you see, I'm growing up in every way. I just went off on one because I remember that. The Cobbles of Manchester. Still a little Mancunian girl. Claire, they called her. Claire, the moment I met... Ooh, horrible little man that sang that as well. Give it O'Sullivan. Yeah, anyway, we digress. That's another show, that. Now... This art lesson, I do remember, I loved our art lesson, because there wasn't many of us in our art lesson. I think there was about 12 of us, and we all got on, our people that were in art. I sat with another guy, Dillip, you know who he was, Dillip, and I had two girls that sat with us as well, Kay and Rebecca. They were great girls. We used to all get on together, and Dillips out there, and we used to sit there in our art lesson. And I remember one day having to go, I think probably go to the toilet or something, I don't know. And I went out and I was doing my artwork, and I'd done a picture of a cobble street. I was quite impressed with this cobble street, and there I was just doing it all the nice cobbles, and it was a nice old picture of an old cobble street, and I liked it. I thought it was really good. Now I went to the toilet, and when I came back, the art teacher was sat in my place, spoiling my drawing. He was. And you remember this, girls? Yeah, remember this, Dillip? Yeah, he was sat there, and he was drawing, and he'd drawn all sorts. Aye, and he used to say, the classic line, he used to say, aye, lad, that's better. And it wasn't better. He'd made a mess. But he thought it was great. He thought he was helping. But his exact words were, aye, lad. He used to say aye, lad, a lot, even to the girls, Strange guy. But yeah, aye, lad, that's better. So that was one. Now, the other nutter was another guy. There was another beardy, with a moustache, and I think it was a bit ginger hair as well, and everything as well. He was old Pearson. Yeah, his name was Pearson. He was a bit nasty, that guy. I don't care. I know people used to like him, but I found him a bit of an offensive little man. I don't know. But anyway, that's just personally. All these are personal opinions, by the way. Not saying he was. I was just saying it. I found him a quick. Pearson, they called him. Old Pearson. He was a very funny guy. He was off with the fairies because art teachers were then. But anyway, they still are, I think, chopping ears off and eating them, Van Gogh style. But anyway, so we have that kind of guy. But the one I was talking about, Docker, right? Okay, Docker. I don't think he wore Dr. Martens boots or anything like that. He wasn't a mod. He wasn't a skinhead. Well, he got short hair, but wasn't an official skinhead. Now, Docker, as it were, went away. And he was in a classroom, and the one whose name is like a bit of a name of a fish pot, said to me, "Can you go and get some felt tip pens from?" He didn't say old Docker, He said, "Go on from Mr. Whatever." So I went and said, "Okay." So I toddled off to get some felt tip pens, and I went past. We called him Bambi, his office, and Rhodesy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. One of the boys came out to play, he kissed them too. He's funny that way, that guy as well. Now, we'll go on to him later. He was another guy, another classic one. And Banksy, Banksy, they shared rooms together. So there was him, her and him. Oh, him and, what was that? Him, her and her. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, we'll go back to that one. But anyway, I went past their room, which was, down the corridor, diddly-diddy, and down the corridor, and then went into the big art room, because the art rooms were great, because our art room hadn't got doors on it. It was an amazing big art room with no doors on it. Great, not a noise from outside. But ours was a free Nelson Mandela room. It was great, all sorts of bobbins on the wall. Pictures, I think they were. All sorts of crap done by pupils on the wall. And well, they're quite good originally, but I think it was old Gilly that had just spoilt them all. But anyway, I don't know. But anyway, so I went to the room and I said, "Excuse me," and he went, "What?" Oh, a bit rude, the older teachers were very rude. I found them very rude. They said it was us that was rude, but it was them. If you bang on someone's door, nice and politely, "Hello, what?" And I said, "Mr. I want some felt tip pens." I know. I want some felt tip pens. And he said, "I'm teaching." I said, "Yes, I know he's teaching, but, he wants some felt tip pens." And he said, "Use crayons." And I said, No, he doesn't want crayons. So he said, "Use crayons." I said, "No, he doesn't want use crayons. I'm not using crayons." So I shut the door and went off. Nasty little man. I came back, saw the fish man, and he said, "Where are the felt tip pens?" And I said, "Well, Docker man, he won't let us have any." He's like, "Oh, aye, lad." And went on. I just remember that, and I came back and said to my mum and dad, and I said, that he's an honourable man, that. And they said, "Oh, yes, Docker Durnley. He used to be friends with your Uncle Colin." Anyway, I don't know, but but he must have been about 108 then. I don't know, but yeah, apparently he was a bad lad, injured in the war or something. He was, two little boys had two little. I had a gammy leg. Anyway, Sophia, we're off again. Hey, see, Kyle, well, don't do that, darling. It's not good. She's doing Hitler at school at the moment. She's getting into it now, aren't you? Achtung, Daddy, we have people in the room. We want to speak. Achtung.
No,
Go on, Madame.
King and Queen dropped their link
They dropped the link. Good, good. I'm glad you stopped my conversation then to tell me Kingy and Queenie dropped their link. Thanks for that, my darling. But yeah, great, Kingy and Queenie. Hope you still, we have you encapsulated here. We're enjoying our chat down memory lane. Do you remember? So we've got these guys. We've got these history teachers, these maths teachers, the PE teachers, deputy heads. Now we also had science teachers. Oh, wow. They were strange as well. The one in particular, our science teacher, used to think he was clever because he used to have a competition. And the competition was called. Now he thought it was good. We used to say, right, you can enter a competition to win the Grand Orange. Now come on, you don't have to be a mastermind to work out that the Grand Orange is the big orange, isn't it? Grand Orange. And he said, right, you get a present, you get a prize at the end of the year for the Grand Orange. As if we didn't know. What's the prize? And Tommy, okay, I'll be honest, people like Tommy and certain other people that would have, okay, they weren't the brightest in the box, you got picked on, but that's why they got picked on, what is the prize? Maybe it's a big orange, I don't know, but there were a group of those bad lads as well.
Big orange.
A big orange, yeah, it's called the Grand Orange. That was the prize, and he thought he was clever. He used to say, you'll never get this one. And he was obsessed with Poland. It was because at the time, it was all about Lech Wałęsa. And it was all about that era, the socialist movement and all that bobbins. But he used to talk about it, and they used to stop and he used to say, right, lad. Right? And he used to lure people into a false sense of security. That's what I was talking about. Now, these bad lads that we're talking about, Tommy and his mates, I'll just use Tommy, because Tommy, not that Tommy, not our Tommy.
No, I know.
Not that one, not our nice Tommy.
Not that one.
Not our Tommy, the other Tommy, had a brother called Derek. And those bad lads, and then there was also Nigel, all sorts of bad lads. They used to knock them out together, literally knock them out together. They were bad lads, funny bad lads. But they were, they used to come along. They used to go with Banksy for extra reading, and talking about this particular guy. This is bring me back, darling. When I finish this bit, just say the word Bab, will you?
Yeah.
Bab, okay? Right, okay, not Bab, Bab. Okay, now I do remember this particular science teacher being quite cruel because he used to say, Carter, that was his name, Carter. And he used to play along with pupils who were a bit, slower than other people. And particularly this particular Carter in this particular, there were two Carters. There was one that was, his dad was a maths teacher, and then the other one, whose dad wasn't. Now he was in a science class this particular day, and I really always remember he used to come in, he used to think it was a car. The teacher, no, it wasn't a teacher. It was this bad lad called Carter. And he used to come in and he used to say, car, like that. And he'd sit there driving his car in the middle of the lesson. As you would. We weren't a special school or anything like that. It was real, these people. But anyway, he used to go like that and drive his car in the middle of the lesson. And this guy came up to him, and, this science teacher, the Grand Orange guy. And one day he came in and he was proper evil, this guy. He used to lead people into false senses of security. And I do remember this one particular day, he came up and he said, now, Carter, what are you doing? And I went, you've got a car, driving a car. He's like, oh, Carter, what kind of car is it? It's a mini, sir. It's a mini, is it, Carter? What colour is it, Carter? It's a green, sir, green, a green mini, sir. A green mini, Carter. And how fast does it go, Carter? Very fast, very fast. Could you show us, Carter? Detention. And Carter would look at him as like, you've just played, and we were all sat there thinking, you've just played along with this guy. He's subnormal, this guy. He doesn't understand. You've just played with his emotions, played with his intelligence, and you've just now, anyway, that was, the rest was history. Now, the reason I bring this same guy, and I'm not talking about him all the time, but this guy was also made ridicule by a certain English teacher. And I remember that back in the day, back then, special needs had only just been invented. Because up to this point, they were known as idiots. Okay? That's why they used to call them idiots, get out. Because they didn't understand special needs. Now, Banksy was a teacher. She was in charge of the idiots, special needs. 1-5ers, they were. That would mean a lot to some people, but nothing to anybody else. And in the first and second year, they were in 1-5, and then they split them up, all these idiots. Not all idiots, some of them were nice. A lot of them in 1-5 were nice. But anyway, basically, they split them up. And they moved them along. They were called the Remedials. They called them remedials, you know. That was the word they used. It was a bit like racism, you know. They used to think it was an era where you got away with your love thy neighbour had just finished and all that lot. But people were still quite racist. They were still quite sexist. In schools, they were horrible. People who didn't understand, who were slow learners, were called idiots. You know, idiot. So they didn't have procedures in place. There wasn't a special needs register. They were just idiots. Idiot list here, look. Idiot, Tommy's on the list here. And that's what they did. They called them idiots. They did. They got away with it. Paid a lot of money for, disrespecting bad lads. So they were either bad lads or idiots, or bad girls or idiots. And even the girls were bad lads. But anyway, we don't go.
Were bad lads.
They were. But anyway, this particular one. Now, I now know, being a teacher, being a trained teacher, as we talked before, that this guy obviously had a form of ADHD that we now know, and a form of dyslexia, a form of dyspraxia, and a child psychologist would have been all over it. But at the time, he was an idiot. Anyway, but he used to get it. Now, he had dyslexia, okay? I think it was dyspraxic or whatever, but I do know that he was dyslexic. And he had what we now know as DB dyslexia.
Yeah.
Okay, so he used to get his B's and his D's mixed up, okay? So he used to do a lot of writing. Well, he didn't write, he used to mess it up and make a mad mess on his page. Idiot! But anyway, this one particular day, I remember in English, he was doing, now I wasn't in his group because I wasn't in his bad lads group, but I remember being told a long time ago, Newton, do you remember her? She used to look like, oh my word, flipping heck, that was what brings about. Vanda, we used to call her, Vanda, the evil one. Another English teacher, Newton, she had a stare from hell. Not to mention with Miss Wiselich, and she was beautiful. She had a Porsche, a red Porsche. Remember that, guys? Yeah, love that red Porsche, beautiful, like ours now. Yeah, but it was red, yeah, a beautiful Porsche, and it was amazing. It was an old Porsche. Anyway, I do digress. But Miss Wiselich, her husband did something to do with, he did something to do with plastics or something, but she was beautiful, and to us she was amazing. She was a lovely person, yeah, Miss Wiselich, and everyone was in love with Miss Wiselich. Even Miss Wiselich was in love with Miss Wiselich. But yeah, she used to park her car outside our room, and we used to watch it every day. Look at the red Porsche. Unless you were one of the bad lads, that were smashing it up. But anyway, yeah, we digress. But yeah, I remember being told.
Nice.
I know, no, exactly. But anyway, we had this teacher that. I think we'll use T because by now you know who I'm talking about. But this particular day, T, whose brother was called D. Now, okay, you've worked it out already. Now, T was in this class and he'd written this nice poem and short story. It was about a spaceman. And he'd done it all good, and he'd spent all lesson with his joining up right. Well, it wasn't joining up, it was a mess. But you couldn't decipher what he'd written. And the teacher came round and said to everybody, look, now teachers back then as well. Andy Gardner. Yeah, if you're watching, name and shame. Finished up to be really good in Waltheof School, I think it was. I met him years and years ago as a teacher. Again, another bearder. But yeah, he was great, and he was a bit of a hippie. He used to go down, dicky-da, dicky-di-day, dicky-di, dicky-di, dum-dum-day. He didn't sing those words. But he used to come and bring his guitar into our lesson. We didn't ask him to. He used to just come in some days, old Andy Gardner, and go, then you seen the old man living in the streets of London. I'll show you something that'll make you change your mind. All sorts of bobbins he used to sing. But he used to be a hippie. But it was great. I loved Andy Gardner. He was a real bad lad. But he used to come in. Andy Gardner, that's another lad. And again, old Andy Gardner, yeah, okay. But anyway, he used to come along. But this particular lesson, I don't know which English teacher it was. Pew Pew Money, Gru, Cuthbert Grub. I don't know who he was, but this English teacher came along and walked around because English teachers at the time used to come round and pick on people. And they look round and they think, now come on, you knew that T would have written a load of bobbins. Because that's all he wrote.
But you're not going to go on.
So you wouldn't go and pick on him, would you? Because you'd think, hang on a minute, he's going to write. I'll wait while he hands it in and then write bobbins on it and put a big green mark on it, But he didn't know it. He chose this day. I'm not embarrassing him in front of him, but they did then. And I remember him coming round and he must have said, let's have a look, lad. Picked his book up and he said, listen, put your pens down, because that's what you do, isn't it? Pens down, everybody. This was humiliation time back then, And they said, pens down, everyone, so you knew somebody was going to get humiliated. And T was sat there going, like that, as he would. And I remember he read it out and he said, listen to this, everybody. Now, I think what he meant to write was, Dad, wake up, Dad. There was a flash in space and a spaceman arrived. That's what was in T's head. But he actually wrote, Bab, whack up, Bab. There was a flacking spack and a spackman appeared. Bab, whack up, Bab. And that's what he wrote. To the joy of everybody listening to that, oh, yeah, Bab, whack up, Bab. There was a flacking spack, flash in space, and a spackman appeared. Bab, whack up, Bab. Anyway, I thought that was hilarious when I heard that. Yeah, Bab, because he got his B's and didn't know that's cruel, wasn't it? But I do remember, and we will go back again. If you've enjoyed this session today, there are lots more teachers we can talk about next week. But they did. But anyway, so that was that. And then obviously we had old Newton.
I do that in my class.
Oh, I know, you'd get sued now, wouldn't you? But anyway, so obviously people who were bad lads then were quite, like that. They had EBD, emotional and behavioural difficulties. Then they were idiots. So they excluded them. Yeah. Now, Nige, Big Bad Nige, he got excluded. Big Bad Nige, he got excluded. And a guy called Alan Henshaw, he was a bad lad. He attacked Mrs. Coyne. Yeah, he attacked Mrs. Coyne. I'll come back to that, my darling. He attacked Mrs. Coyne and grabbed her by the throat. Grabbed her by the throat. She was a French teacher, and I, again, worked with her afterwards. And even the teachers were worried about old Henshaw. He was a bad lad. But he, one particular day, she was called, I can't remember her name afterwards, I'll not digress that. But yeah, I worked with her later date when I started teaching, and it's so nice because when I started teaching, but this is the funny thing, I went back to my old school. Back into my old staff room, and there was sat at the back was Slug. Hey, Sluggy, sat there. You'll know what I'm talking about. And people used to come up to me and they'd say, "Sir, was such and such?" Then I found it very difficult not to say, "Oh, you mean Slug?" Because I used to know the nicknames, you know. But anyway, the first person I saw was Slug. Another balmy fellow, Hopkin, mad as a March hare, another history teacher. He nearly perforated the eardrums of a guy that used to sit at the side of me with a book. Hoyle, Miss Hoyle, she was great. I used to like Miss Hoyle. She was nice. She was a bit straight. And not in the word, straight, as we know it now. She was very straight. Straight lace. Sue Linford, she was great. I enjoyed Sue. She was great. She was my form teacher. She was very nice. I used to like Sue. And Frau Gallagher. Guten Tag, Frau Gallagher. Set stoic. Also, set stoic. I know, what am I doing there? I don't know. Frau Gallagher used to come in. They changed her. Her name was... flipping heck, I forgot her name now, but Willis, that's it. Oh, Bob Willis. She changed her name to Willis. I couldn't understand it, but then realised she got married. Changed her name from, she used to be Frau Gallagher, and she used to say, Guten Tag. And she'd say, Guten Tag, Frau Gallagher. Then she'd say, Steht auf. And we'd all stand up. Then she said, Set stoic. That's right, my darling. Yeah. Set stoic. And we'd all sit down. And she'd say, ask us questions. And she was great. She went on to be a deputy head, or a head teacher as well. She was nice. German. She was a German teacher. Taught a bit of French, I think, as well. And we also had the, do you remember, Angela? We had some really, really great exchange students that used to come along. They were great as well. I had a bit of a crush on this Angela. Because she was... Wie viele Menschen liegen da und eine coolen Schlimmala. Es hier reden sehen, so sehen Kinder und sehen. I liked her. She was good. Yeah, she didn't sing that. Just I remember at the time the song was. And 909 Sick Luftballon floating in the summer sky. Nena, of course, was big in those days. 99 Red Balloons. Again, so I digress about that. So the modern foreign languages department, they were great. There were some really nice teachers in there. I really had a lot of time for those. And again, we move on, and I will talk more about these. I'm just trying to whet your appetite about these certain people. Hundreds and hundreds more that we could talk about. But just these... and then the next one that I will remind you of, do you remember? Charlie? Hey, get your books out, right? I'm going to write down the answers on the board. I'm going to leave them on the board for you. For all you thickos, I'm leaving the... now, this is true, this, guys, and you'll know who I'm talking about. We'll call her Charlie. She was amazing. Everybody knew Charlie. Everybody's been taught by Charlie. Everybody's mums were taught by Charlie. Everybody's dads were taught by Charlie. Great mum and dad, great grandparents, everybody knew Charlie. She was amazing. Yeah, I'll only say Charlie because that's who was affectionate. Now, Charlie used to teach RE. Okay? And Charlie was amazing. Now, for all the thickos, the idiots, whatever you want to call them, she used to have a double entry as to how to help you. First of all, she used to put answers on the board. Okay? She used to put answers on the board and leave them up. And then you had an exam, and if you were if you weren't one of the bad lads, you'd know just to read the answers off the board. The second thing she used to do was leave the answers on the board, and she used to overemphasise the question. So, for example, Charlie would say, okay, now the answers are already on the board. So unless you're really an idiot, then you already know what the answers are. But just in case, you say, right, we're going to do a questions today, your exam, and it's all about Buddhism, okay? Now, I'd like to... now, it's already on the board. It already says Buddhists wear yellow cloaks. It's already written there. So you've already got it there. Now, if you're already stupid and you've not seen that, she also used to say, right, I'm going to ask you the question and I'm going to give you multiple choice, because I used to love multiple choice answers. And she said, right, okay, Buddhists wore what colour cloak? Was it A, green, blue, red, or C, yellow? And she used to overemphasise the word yellow. And of course, Tommy T used to put green, obviously. But anyway, so so it's very hard, very difficult not to score highly on these exams. But she was great. I mean, she was an amazing teacher. I mean, joking aside, yeah, she was lovely. But anyway, we digress and go on there. But she also never used to mark your books. She used to just sit and tick. You know, turn and tick. We call it turn and ticking now as a teacher. Turn and tick, turn and tick, turn and tick. Tick, tick, tick. And she didn't used to read it. And one particular day, and you remember Patty, Patricia, and there were two Rebeccas. One Rebecca, another Rebecca, and Patty. And Patty used to play, but she used to play the bagpipes. And Harry Grayson came on one day to see Patty, and everybody used to shout, Harry, show us you. I remember that. But Patty used to play the bagpipes. Yeah, she won the Karen Hawkins? No, Canon Hawkins prize for RE as well. But anyway, we digress. The other things I'm remembering now that were blasts from the past. But anyway, Patty, I remember, she decided to put Charlie to the test, I think, one day. And she wrote bobbins, not literally the word bobbins. She wrote a load of bobbins. She wrote, once upon a time there was a man called Bob. He had a hernia and died. I don't know, what did he go down there, whatever it was. She put all sorts of things, and she put all sorts of... she wrote the normal stuff. And then to prove she wasn't listening, or reading and ticking and turning, she wrote rubbish in between. And she went, yeah, well done, and she ticked it all. That was really funny. Now, Bowney, how about Bowney, another bad lad. Bowney used to mark... Bowney burnt the school down. Bowney was a bad lad. We love Bowney.
What,
literally burnt the school down. Turned into a Jehovah's Witness. Well, he wasn't. He used to be a Jehovah's Witness. Bowney, bless him. Bowney, now, was always isolated. Always, on the outside, when we were in junior school and infant school. Because in the nicest possible way, he was part of a religious, what they call Jehovah's Witnesses. He was one of the people, like we say, one of the people who didn't go to assembly. So he was singled out as being different. Because him and a few other people used to sit outside. Now, I don't quite understand why they didn't go into assembly. They were just, I liked Bowney, and I didn't actually think these people were weird, but people used to think, they're weird then, they're not coming to assembly. They're different. Like the taxi people. Yeah, we had taxi people. They were weird as well. When we were in primary school, they used to get picked up by a taxi. Now, these people weren't strange. They were just called the taxi people, because they went home in a taxi. Now, we used to say, the taxi people are here, as if they're from a different planet. Taxi people, can you... But the teachers used to say, taxi people, can you get yourselves ready? And we used to go, taxi people. Because I thought they were strange, like 4 heads or something. Taxi people, do you remember? Taxi people. They used to get in a taxi. They only lived half a mile away. They didn't live, hundreds of miles away and, drive. They had to leave 10 minutes early. The taxi people, and that was in primary school. That was really funny, that. I remember. They used to get ready and they used to say, Mr. Booth. Yeah, and his daughter. Oh, great, yeah, Smoothie Boothie, and yeah, great, I remember those days. But anyway, again, we're blast from the past we're talking about here was mean lots of things to people who know what I'm talking about, and mean absolutely nothing. But you maybe have an equivalent teacher that you're remembering or reminiscing with us. The taxi people, they were very, very funny. I also remember the names of the taxi people as well. And the apparatus boys, of which I was one, an apparatus boy in primary school. Hey, came in one day. I thought I'd been picked for the football team. I did. Mr. Smoothie Boothie, another dodgy teacher, Bolton they called him. He was a bit dodgy. But anyway, darling, let's pause it soon. Bolton, yeah, he was a gymnast teacher, and I don't know, bit of a bad lad, I think. But anyway, now he used to have a gymnastics club. But anyway, gymnastics, we were talking about gymnastics, and obviously back then I remember Mr. Booth coming up one day, and I think we're in the third year of junior school. And I remember Mr. Booth coming along because we all had different football fans there. Come on, you know who you are. One of them was couldn't quite work out that one out. Fairweather fans. Finished up being okay, finished up being decent fans, but at the time there was a couple of fans. Everybody used to follow teams that were winning at the time. There was a person that we all know and remember that was a Chelsea fan, and even a friend of mine, a good friend of mine that I used to know a long time ago, fondly, was a Chelsea fan. Before he saw the light, and really was a blade at heart. But anyway, we digress. Thinking about people who were into all this type of thing, and we had at the time people who didn't have dockers because we weren't old enough to wear dockers. At the time, we used to put our shoes outside. Back with a teacher. Oh wow, blast from the past, Mr. Blanksby and Mrs. Huff. Oh whoa, flipping heck. They were blasts from the past. We had two teachers there. We thought they were having an affair. They weren't. Mr. Blanksby, loved him. He was great. Looked a bit like Adolf Hitler. Had a little moustache. Yeah. He was a bad lad. He was funny, old Blanksby. I used to like him. And obviously, I was the ECO, Energy Conservation Officer. I was. My job was to turn the lights off. Every time I saw a light on, I had to turn it off. I love my job as an ECO. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, literally, I used to turn it off. Yeah, okay. No, I hadn't got OCD. He hadn't got OCD. Probably had, and probably said, yeah, okay, you can be the energy conservation officer. So I had to save energy back in the days. Yeah, that was good. But yeah, we had him, and obviously that was a bit of time. I don't know. I just used to enjoy my job, turning lights off. Can you stop turning the lights off, please? But yeah, and we used to do and we've gone back a little bit, back to primary school again now, because what we're talking about, because every Friday afternoon we had drawing, and we used to draw birds, not girls. Girls. That'd be wrong. We used to draw birds, we're going to draw a bird. And we did. Animals and birds, insects, fruit, flowers. And there was a book that we used to like, and we all ordered the same book. Yeah, it was book club. Oh, sorry, I just got really excited there. In primary school, we had a book club, and you had to pay so much money. And every so often, they used to come round. But yeah, I used to buy a book. Yeah, and I remember buying this book of birds. So we could. Well, that's the why we all bought this book. We all bought this animal book and this bird book. And yeah, we used to draw these birds and things, animals. I can't remember how much it was, but it was. We all copied each other, and the man that used to come around, the book man, because it was a man then. Women didn't sell books then. We had a row of Encyclopedia Britannica that stayed. Nobody used them because you weren't allowed to touch them. They were Encyclopedia Britannica. That's the olden day equivalent of Wikipedia. That you now press a button. But these books were called Encyclopedia Britannica, and we had them at home as well. If you were, some of us had them at home. Encyclopedia Britannica. Oh my word! And it was encyclopedias. Do you know that word, encyclopedia, Madonna? Encyclopedia, like a dictionary, but with pictures. Pictionary, basically. Encyclopedia. So if you had to go to the library and research something, you used to go and get out the Quran or the Bible. It was the equivalent. That was Encyclopedia Britannica, and do some research. My word. And another book we remember right in the very beginning. I remember this book fondly. Anyway, guys, of a certain age, you'll remember this book. What Can I Do Today? That was the book. That was what it was called. And it showed you everything you could do for the rest of your life in the book. And it was making things. I had a section about space things. I had a section about making things that were just a bit dodgy. A little like I had a. For example, you had a piece of paper, a card. I'm not swearing at everybody, by the way. That would be wrong. That was that piece, vegetable rice and peas. I don't know. But anyway, we had a piece of paper, and you got the piece that you're watching. I don't. It's really important. Little things like this that were in What Can I Do Today? There was a boys' annual called What? It's very sexist back then, you see. Boy, what can I do today? And the girls was called something else. I can't remember what it was. Probably a pink book called How to Rearrange Flowers. I don't know what it was. But this was What Can I Do Today? And this What Can I Do Today book had all sorts of funny things. Jumping beans, for example. So you made it. You got a marble, and you made it into like some strips of paper on it, and you shoved it along, and it used to turn over and over like a bean, and it used to move. It was great. And the other thing, there was the thing that used to like a sycamore leaf falling from the sky, called helicopters. Yeah, maple. That was a good thing. I used to like dancing on the maple. I've got to stop doing that now. I only stopped doing it last week. Very gothic now, But anything that had a reason to dance round the maple. We had a beautiful tree. We had a tree in the infant school. There was this weeping willow. Oh, what a name, weeping willow. Weeping willow tree, and we all used to go around that and hide under it. Yeah. I enjoyed that weeping. Don't know why we hid under it, because you could see us. But we used to hide under it, this weeping willow. Catkins, remember those? But anyway, what I was trying to say is digressing about What Can I Do Today. In the What Can I Do Today book, they showed you how to make a helicopter man. And basically what you did, you had a piece of paper, and this is where that came in, okay? And you cut it down, and you put one that way, one piece of paper that way, one the other way, and then you drew a little man on the bottom, and you stuck a little teeny-weeny paper clip, yeah? But they were called paper fasteners. I never had a paper fastener, I didn't know what they were. I used to stick a paper clip on it. And you got up to your house, and you threw it, and it spun round. And it was hilarious, it was amazing, it was crap really. But it's funny, it's like watching it go around, hey, like that, and things like that, useless rubbish in this book, What Can I Do Today? I just remember it. I used to get that out of the library, little library. It wasn't really a library, it was called a school library, but we had class libraries. It was a bookshelf, an assortment of bookshelves that they called the class library. I remember that. You sit and read a book in the class library. Didn't do that, obviously. Marbles. People used to play. I remember marbles. Yeah, it's a bit sad now talking about marbles, but I remember playing marbles, and people used to have marbles, and I never quite understood this. You had a dauber. Do you remember those daubers? You had a Jupiter dauber. Now, a dauber was a big marble. Okay, and you had to flick. I never understood it because you used to come home with. You used to go to school with 10 marbles and come back with none, because somebody had got a dauber, and you never understood because usually the people with the daubers were a bully or something, so they just take your marbles. You never used to argue because I said in our last videos I was, especially in primary school, I was like, scared of my own shadow. But yeah, you'd have a marble. Okay, so you'd have really nice marbles. Okay, and you used to stand about here. And somebody put a marble there, and you'd flick your marble, and if you hit your marble, and it hit their marble, you won the 2 marbles. Are you following this, my darlings? It's not rocket science. Yeah, clever game. But the thing is, the bullies used to play it, and they used to say, I've got it, and they used to take all your marbles. And they always had daubers, and daubers, not dobby, daubers, hey, daubers, big daubers they were, and there were big marbles. Things that, I just remember those daubers. Blast from the past. And, they used to say, don't put daubers in your mouth. Why would you put daubers in your mouth? Don't put marbles in your mouth. Because my friend at school, hey, bad lad, he was off school for a week. He swallowed a dice. And he had to wait while he pooed it out. Yeah. He swallowed a dice. He was playing tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
And he went like that. I think he must have gone, hey, and dropped it in his mouth. And he swallowed it. And everybody thought he was going to die.
Yeah, but how do you swallow it?
I don't
do you just
know.
not stop?
It went down.
Yeah, but how did it go down?
I don't know. To this day, I don't know. It wasn't a big dice. It was obviously it wasn't one of those big boom, boom, boom. Got a big dice in your mouth. Pushed it down his throat.
Like
Get down your esophagus and die. It wasn't one of those. It was a very small dice, or die they called it. I never understood that. Did you? It's a dice, a pair of dice, or a die. If it's one single, it's a die. Roll the die. No, it's a dice, isn't it? No, it's not. It's like a pair of compasses and a compass. A compass is something. This is a point we learned at school a long time ago. A pair of compasses is one of those things people used to stab you with.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
never worked. A little silver thing like that, with a pencil in it,
Yeah,
and you make it tight and
And
make
you
a
just
circle, and it
stab
always
things
bobbins
with
up,
it.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Never goes straight, the
And you
circle.
stab
And you
things
stab
with
people
it.
with it. That's what a pair of compasses. Now, people used to say, "Can I have the compass, please?" And the teacher would always say, "No, a compass tells you the direction." Hey, you just think, well, they're clever, didn't they? Or you say, "Pass me the compass." No, it's a pair of compasses.
Or in
A
my
die.
case,
In your case, Madonna, in not case. Go on, Madonna.
you get a, well, not in my case.
Not in your case.
personally,
Dear. What
but
are we going to say
people in
now?
my
Jack and
class,
Nori,
right?
Jack and Nori, that was another one. Go on, Dan.
Or you can do what people in my school do.
What did they do? Special school.
With a compass.
Right, what did they do, my darling?
And
Mention no names.
no.
Right.
And they
Threw them at the teacher.
doesn't really matter. No.
What do they do?
But what they do with it is they get a water bottle,
A water bottle.
as in like a bottle of water.
Bottle of water, yeah. It's, the name's in the idea,
and
isn't
then,
it?
They make you make a hole at the top of the water bottle with the compass.
And call it holy water
then
and take it to
drink
Marie.
it out the top.
Out of the
Like,
top.
squirt it out
Hey,
the
that's a
top.
good idea. I might
That's
try
what
that
they do in
after.
my school, yeah.
That's good, that.
And then they make a hole in the top and then they drink it.
Yeah, but it's
like
already got a hole at the top where the water
that.
comes
No,
out.
but they put it on the lid.
On
So
the
they
lid.
hold
Oh, very
the lid
small. And then squeeze it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah. Oh, talking about that, we saw that with crisps.
yeah.
Get a bag of crisps and go crush them up into teeny weeny little crisps, frazzles. Teeny weeny frazzles, different crisps. Oh, well, there's another show in this, guys. But yeah, okay, just while we're at it now, we've digressed. But hope you've enjoyed this little blast. We will continue, and we'll carry on next time where we left on today, because obviously we were talking about more people, talking about more children, talking about more, obviously we're not naming and shaming people. We have named and shamed quite a few people in today's show, but yeah. And then we went back into the high school again, and Boris, another teacher, Boris, remember him? He used to be written on the outside of the school. There was a little message about Boris being not very nice. Yeah, Boris. He was one of the deputy heads, Boris, and another one that died recently. I.C. Holton, Mr. Holton. Probably he died recently, which is again I can't remember. We used to always say, "Remember monkey." Not little monkeys. We used to all believe that I.C. Holton flew around on a cloud. Yeah, we always thought he had monkey's cloud because you never saw him wandering around. He used to levitate when he used to come out. He used to levitate around the school and go, "You lad," you know, to the girls. But it was a very strange man. Yeah, it was I.C. Holton. He was a funny one. And then also he had a little team of disciples. He used to knock around with him. Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, I do remember another balmy woodwork teacher. Sorry, remind me just before we finish now. There's two more people, and we will next time. If you've enjoyed this, maybe we can continue down memory lane. But two teachers, a plastics teacher, bonkers he was. Yeah, he was bonkers. Now, I'll not use his name because I'm insulting him, but he used to teach a subject called plastics. Now, that subject was rubbish, okay? And he was strange. He was a strange guy. And he used to spoil all the lesson talking about rubbish. So, for example, he'd come in, and no word of a lie now, I do remember this guy. He used to come in, and he used to be called It was called Creative Studies, our school. Creative Studies. And one of the creative studies was called plastics. And this guy used to come along. He used to say, right, okay, and this is a classic scenario from this guy. Mad as a March hare he was. We used to sit there and he used to say, right, okay, you need an apron. You need an apron. Where's your apron? Because we had to bring an apron. So if you had creative studies, you had to bring in an apron. But anyway, you brought an apron. And my friend at school actually made his own apron. Funny things he used to do, that guy. No wonder he got picked on. There's no wonder he got picked on. But anyway, this particular day, he made his own apron. Bad lad. But anyway, this particular day, we had plastics. And this guy, picture the scene. He used to spoil every lesson. You never got anything done. Because he used to come in and he used to say, right, okay, we're going to do plastics, okay? Now, these are his words, not mine. I've not gone off on one. I've not gone mad totally. He used to say, right, okay, right, we're doing plastics today, and when you're doing plastics, you need an apron. If you haven't got an apron, you can't do plastics. And if you can't do plastics, that's not my fault. Tough. Right, if you want to do plastics, you've got to have an apron. So if you've got an apron, you can do plastics. And if you do plastics, you'll enjoy it. If you don't do it, tough. Now, if you haven't got an apron, you can buy one. It's 5p. And if you want 5p for an apron, you pay 5p. And if you've not got 5p for an apron, you can't pay 5p. And if you've not got an apron, you can't do plastics. If you can't do plastics, that's tough. And we were all like, where's this guy? Right. And we had we had a girl in there called, her name was, her first name was Vivian. And he called her an old cow one day because she was chewing. He said, "You're chewing like an old cow." He wouldn't get away with that now, would he? Now, Vivian wasn't a cow. She was chewing. Okay, so she shouldn't have been chewing, but not really to call her an old cow. I thought that was vile. But anyway, so he used to come in and he said, "Right, I'm going to come along, and if you haven't got an apron, I'll shout, 'Aprons, aprons,' and if you want an apron, you pay 5p. If you've not got 5p, you can't have an apron. If you've not got an apron, you can't have plastics. If you can't have plastics, that's tough." And we'd be like, "What? Say that again, mate." And he'd be like, "Listen, is anybody listening? Right, okay, anybody want to do plastics? Everybody got to do plastics. Right, anybody wants to do plastics, you can do plastics. If you go to plastics, you don't do my lesson. If you don't do my lesson, you're not doing plastics. If you want an apron, you have to have an apron. If you're not got an apron, you can't do plastics. That's tough. If you want to buy an apron, that'll cost you 5p. If you've not got 5p, you can't do plastics. Because you've not got an apron, you can't pay. You can't do plastics. Because you've not got an apron, you've not got 5p. If you've got 5p, you can buy an apron. If you can't have an apron, you can't do plastics. If you can't do plastics, that's tough." And he used to spend the first 40 minutes of a 50-minute lesson talking bobbins. And it was weird, because we used to have houses. We used to have, our houses were called Royd. Royd was red, but that was easy to remember. Oxley was yellow. Whitwell was blue. And Haywood was green. And this nutter that I'm talking about now was one of the leaders of Haywood. And again, that was another story, that. Red team, green team, blue team and yellow team. And in assembly, they used to fix it. They used to tell lies and say, "Haywood this week got 10 points. Whitwell, they got 24. Oxley got 15. And Royd, they had 7,698,200,000. That kind of thing, you know. People used to lie. And they used to go into assembly and used to see this thing. And it used to be there. You know what it is, guys. Remember, it used to be on the wall, didn't it? And it used to have a list of who, you know, which team were, you know. It was like a bar chart. You've been doing bar charts at school, haven't you, Mum? And he had like a bar chart. And it was a colour bar chart. And he used to go up and up and up. And, you know, the winning team. But anyway, one of the teams, one of the houses, wasn't as successful as the others. Because the bad lads were in it. And we had all the swimmers in our team, and quite a few of the decent athletes, so we were always okay. And so was, forgive me, but, you know, if you were in blue team, you weren't doing very well. Quite felt sorry for those. Whitwell, they called them. Whitwell, bad lads. But anyway, yeah. And then what got me was, I used to think, okay, in the area where we lived, there was an area called Whitwell, an area called Oxley, an area called Royd, and an area called Haywood, Oxley, Whitwell and Royd. Okay, those 4 areas. Now, wouldn't it have made sense for the people who were from the Whitwell to be in blue for Whitwell? And if you lived near the Royd, you'd be in red for Royd. And if you lived at Oxley Park, you'd be in yellow for Oxley. And Haywood, Oxley, Royd, and wouldn't it have been a lot easier to choose people? I suppose, you know, there'd be probably 26,000 in one house and then none in the other, then, wouldn't it? But you know, if you lived on the, you know, you could live on the Whitwell and be in Royd. Hello. But I don't know. I digress. But yeah, that was another thing that I don't think things were planned out then. I don't think people thought about things then as they do now. Wouldn't get away with it now. And I suppose what I'm saying now, it's a blast from the past. It's a walk down memory lane, trying to avoid talking about people unless I really have to, because I remember fondly, and some not so fondly, some of the teachers. Some of the teachers were definitely not politically correct as we know it today. Some of them left a lot to be desired, and all did different things. But again, we had, just starting with the top there, the head of years were the deputy heads, and I do remember fondly as we'll finish off this little bit of a clip with Banksy, Bambi, and also Rocker Rhodes, who was affectionately known as another name. Rhodesy, Rosy, Pudding and Pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the boys came out to play, kissed them too. He's funny that way. But yeah, definitely a bizarre chap. I remember those three. They were Curly, Larry and Mo. And very strange. Wainwright, old Wainwright, You know, he used to look like Steve McGarrett. And and some of these teachers I'm talking about now, I can't fully... Hazy, Hayton, old Hayton, Baker. Oh, all these people we can remember, can't you? You can remember all these people. Great drama teacher called Mr. Baker. He was great. And again, when I started teaching again at school, I went back and taught with Mr. Baker, and he was amazing. He was brilliant. He was one of the good guys, because some of them weren't so good. But he was okay. He was a nice bloke. So yeah, I digress. And next time, hopefully, if you've enjoyed this blast down memory lane, there's so many more things we can talk about and we can chat about down memory lane. So if you want to go back to look over the last video that we did, not the last one, maybe the one before, and have a look at a little blast from the past down memory lane. It will, you know, I talked about my journey from, you know, being a pupil through to being slightly bullied, and then being a Thai boxer and a kickboxer, and now doing what I do now, being a very good Thai boxer, a very good kickboxer, a teacher, also not suffering fools gladly now, and being afraid of no man bore of woman. But it's been a long road with many a winding tale, and yes, just a little bit as to where we are today, where we are. It is what it is. And if you've enjoyed it today, chatting down memory lane, you've enjoyed watching a few of the other videos, then, you know, bob in again to our house at Elysium Sophia. If you remember me, obviously from the name you remember, I'm Dave, aka Picky, as it were, and with lots of fond memories. We do a lot of chats, we do a lot of stand-up, and we do a lot of all sorts of things alongside two very now successful YouTube channel, and then also another social media platform where we do chat shows, and really enjoying what we do and sharing this type of thing. And obviously, predominantly, the other business that we have is all about meditation, relaxation, health and well-being, mindfulness, call it, hypnosis, rejuvenation therapy, built on stuff that I've done that is all about psychology, educational psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, all the way through to the stuff that we talked about today. A bit of tongue-in-cheek, and yeah, lots to share. And hopefully today has taken you down memory lane a little bit when you've enjoyed this little blast from the past. And if you have, as I say, if you have enjoyed it, then join us again and look through our videos that have led to this one. Be great. Sophia, would you like to say goodbye to anybody before we go, as we do here at Elysium?
Thank you everyone for joining us today. If you have joined in the chat, thank you. If you have joined us in the background, thank you as well. Please don't forget to like this video and put the notification bell on so you won't miss our next upload. Ding. And also, hopefully we can see you all when we go live next time. Stay safe, and thank you all so much for joining us. We've got Unicorn Hulk, who just says, I'm so late, laughing face, I'm sorry.
You are late, but don't worry. We're going on the other side very soon, Unicorn Hulk. But thanks for joining us anyway. Yeah. We're just finishing our live today. I don't know how long it's been, but it seems to be a long time today. But as we always finish here at Elysium, we always talk about what we do. We talk about teaching, we talk about Thai and Muay Thai boxing, we talk about all sorts of things. But also, Sophia, you want to say something else before we go?
Unicorn said you're welcome.
Oh, cool, yeah. We'll see you on the other side, and in a half an hour or so. I don't know what it'll be. But yeah, we talk about all sorts here at Elysium Sophia. We talk about our business now of therapy, we talk about meditation, transcendental meditation. We talk about the power of the mind. We talk about hypnosis. We talk about our other shows that we host, and are successful hosting across the pond in America, because we're very popular across in the US at the moment, which is really nice for us, because they seem to appreciate our humour as well. We're big in America, boom. We're also big in Pakistan and Asia, which is very good. We're enjoying that at the moment. Lots of success in Europe, but we'd like to come home. We'd like to come home to YouTube. To the UK to share what we've just been sharing, but we do always, hand on heart, remember our roots, and we remember that although we're a chat show, although we're quite famous in other areas now, we also remember what our business is all about. It's all about health and well-being. It's all about mindfulness meditation. It's all about the power of the subconscious mind. It's all about hypnosis and helping you through personal training to be the best version of you that you can possibly be, helping your motivation, helping you with confidence, helping you with phobias. And it all starts here. It all starts here. It works its way down here. It's what's going off up here, and it's what's going off in here. Because you're an amazing person, and you are unique, and you should never ever worry about what other people think or say. Because you are an amazing person. You are unique, and you deserve to be happy. Now, we have to remember, Sanskrit teaches us, modern medicine teaches us, all different types of things. But the best thing we can have is empathy. To walk in the shoes of other people. To walk a mile in the shoes of other people. To understand just how they feel. Because it's really important for you to become empathetic and learn to become more empathetic. Because without empathy, then we are nobody. We need to be as one with each other. We need to be as one with each other. Whether you're black, white, yellow, green, whether you're gay, whether you're transsexual, transvestite, whether you're whatever you are, whatever your denomination, whatever your creed, whatever your colour, whatever character of the rainbow you are, then you are welcome here at Elysium Sophia. You're welcome to use our therapy and to join us at our home here at Elysium Sophia. You are an amazing person. You deserve to be happy. Whatever you are, and you should stay true to you. So until next time, thank you for joining us. Stay safe. And as always, a massive, massive namaste.